What's up, guys? I'm back. Luckily, my mental health has gotten a lot better. I still don't know how much I'll upload, but October is one of my favorite months to upload. I think this is going to be uploaded on the 1st of October, and if it does, happy birthday, Mom. But October also means two things. Obviously, it's the start of basketball season, which means more content for me and you guys. And also, it's the month of Halloween, which means I have a lot of fun stuff planned for the channel. And also, I get to use one of my favorite outros this month that I don't get to use for the entire rest of the year. So that's definitely going to be at the end of this video. Anyway, I'll do more announcement type stuff in the next podcast episode. So let's just get into the video. After all the reassurance that the Spurs will stay in San Antonio, there is still plenty of people speculating. With the Spurs playing more games in Austin and them continuously losing money while losing games, many are still on edge. However, with me myself living in San Antonio, I have more connections and more of an attachment to this issue than some other basketball or even out-of-state Spurs fans might have. This includes none other than the San Antonio newspaper. In this publication of the paper, there's an article titled "Bill Puts Pressure on Spurs to Stay in SA." To summarize, the article goes on to explain a new bill that has gone all the way to Congress, the Strengthening Public Undertaking for Retaining Sports Act, or cleverly named the Spurs Act. Now, the purpose of this bill does not make it impossible for teams to relocate, because this would cause a lot of further issues in setting precedents. Without getting too much into the politics, if relocating a team was outright prohibited, this would be seen as influencing the free market too much, because each team is a business. So rather than not allowing the relocation of teams at all, the bill instead makes it far more difficult and essentially creates a checklist before a team can be relocated. First off, a team would have to have declining finances or losing money for at least 5 years in a row. The teams also had to have a good argument why their arena was inadequate. Once these things have been completed, the team had to also give the city a year's notice of relocation and reimburse any government assistance they had received, such as tax breaks or government donations. Even after all that, the local government would still also have the power to now veto the relocation. Now, this may seem very strict for teams and make it almost impossible, while still staying technically possible legally. And well, that's the point. The Spurs alone, despite its trouble recently with selling tickets, averages a revenue of $696 million to the city of San Antonio each year, as well as provide 2,000 jobs. 2,000 people, probably with families, would leave San Antonio and also relocate to Austin as well with the Spurs, or find other jobs. The city of San Antonio would also obviously see significant changes with the loss of almost $700 million. Even on the most local level, the Spurs are very entangled with the culture of San Antonio, including the college and campus of UTSA. With these changes, they would now be at UT Austin. However, despite the name, this bill would obviously not just affect the Spurs, or even not just affect the NBA. In the article, they make the comparison of how the bill would have affected the Seattle Supersonics or the St. Louis Rams. However, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. Prior to the championship, the Spurs were threatening relocation as well. However, this was even more extreme than it is now. Currently, the Spurs have expressed concerns and calmed down claims of relocation. But in 1999, the Spurs made it well known that they were looking to move if not offered anything in SA. Despite winning a championship, the turn-of-the-century years of 1999 and 2000 were almost some of the worst years San Antonio would have ever seen. Tim Duncan almost got traded to the Magic, Greg Popovich almost got fired, and of course the subject of this video, they almost weren't even the Spurs. The Spurs no longer wanted to play in the Alamo Dome and were looking to move to cities like Nashville and New Orleans, meaning that the Spurs would have become the New Orleans Pelicans prior to the 2002 New Orleans Pelicans. Instead, the city of San Antonio decided to vote on whether to pay taxes to keep the Spurs in San Antonio. And with this being Texas, where people like limited government, it actually failed. However, Bexar County themselves, separate from the city of San Antonio as a whole, held themselves another, more local bond election for it. The plan this time, tax the visitor. What this meant was rather than money coming out of the resident's pocket, it was charged to the tourist. To quote ESPN, a proposal to increase hotel and car rental taxes to help fund a new $175 million arena passed overwhelmingly, with 61% of voters favoring the plan and 39% voting against it. End quote. A tax of 16.75% was added to hotel bills, the second highest in the nation, behind only Houston at 17%. There was also a 5% increase on rental car taxes. This helped generate the revenue needed to build the new AT&T Center. However, the naming contract of AT&T Center is expiring this year, and the Spurs contract to stay in Bexar County also expires in 2023. So unfortunately, now all we can do is sit back and see what happens. Obviously, if more news on this comes out, I will keep y'all updated. But for now, that's all I got for this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. As always, please like and subscribe, all that cliche YouTuber stuff. Share the video around as it really does help me out. These videos have been getting a lot more views recently, so I really do appreciate it. And anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.